for a better way. Ooh wee. What's up, River Rats TV? It's been a while. I've been neglecting the tube. I recently got monetized last Friday on Facebook, and I apologize. I have several followers on here. So I want to start a new segment. I've had probably a million jobs. No, seriously, I've had like 1,000. But I want to talk about some of the goofiest, wildest shenanigans that you may have heard or anybody has, being at work, you hear some dumb things. You got supervisors in positions that, it's just a title. They're not a leader. Talking about locally. I'm just going to, but anyway, I'm talking about just in the work job general. Example. I was working at, I'm going to tell you a funny story. So, I had a job at Walmart. And I worked there for like, I think 3 days. So, here's what happened. I got hired in at Walmart to do some kind of like grocery delivery. Sucked. So, like the second day, I wore shorts, and the supervisor was like, "You can't wear shorts." I said, "I thought that in orientation, you said that you could wear shorts." So, said, "No, only if you work outside." And I'm like, "Well, we supposed to like take shit to the vehicle." But anyway, so I was looking on Indeed, and I found this job for security. It was like just seasonal or something. Like it was during the COVID. So COVID. So you have to wear a mask inside Walmart, right? So they put us out here standing for a different position, right? I did the interview on lunch with this company at Walmart while I was working at Walmart. So they hired me, right? And she says, and I ask her, I say, "Well, I need to know if I'm going to get the job because I'm working at Walmart right now. And I've been here like 3 or 4 days. And I said, I hate it. So, if I know I'm going to get it, I'm going to go here and quit, right?" So she says, "Yeah, I'm the hiring manager. So, I'm going to hire you." So I go in there and tell them that I quit in this office, right, with the Walmart manager. I have to sign papers. A week later, I'm back in that same office with a different company doing the piss test and all of that, and orientation in the same office that I just quit, and find out that I'm going to be doing mask police at Walmart, at the same Walmart at the front door, right? So, they want people wearing masks, coming in. And that was my job to tell them to enforce the masks. And here's where it gets wild, because one of the I think she was actually the loss, what is that called? Loss prevention, LPO, loss prevention officer or whatever. They get on. She says, "Hey, you're not making people put masks on." And I said, "Well, no, y'all said it's not it's not mandatory." And let me see. And she says, "Well, it is mandatory." And I said, "Well, these people say they ain't wearing a mask." She said, "Okay, well, you can't make them wear a mask." She said, "They can still come in the shop." I said, "So the masks ain't mandatory. They're just optional if you want to wear one." She said, "No, they're mandatory." And I said, "But I can't stop them from coming in and shopping without a mask." She said, "No, you can't." And I said, "So it's not mandatory?" And she said, "Yes, it's mandatory." I thought mandatory was, when I was in the military, when mandatory meant mandatory, like If that uniform was mandatory, you didn't come in wearing a different uniform, even though the other was mandatory, and just say, they don't say, well, you can wear that other uniform if you want to, but hell no. You come in wearing the wrong damn uniform on a mandate, your ass is grass. And they the lawnmowers. So I argued with this, for a couple minutes. I got a little kick out of it because I was like, how you're not listening to yourself. So that was it got so petty between Walmart and this company, because it was like 3 or 4 of us working, easy money, standing there, and they was like, it's your job to hand out masks to folks. Alright. But they wanted them bagged. It's like, well, we're not bagging them. So they called our manager and said, well, they'll hand them out, but they're not bagging them. So they had to put a Walmart employee with us, standing there, putting them in a bag, and hand them to us while we handed. It got petty. It just got to a point where we was just, doing petty shit to aggravate. What's up, Melanie? Mount. Appreciate watching. If you have any wild shenanigans that you've heard supervisors, employers say. And if you go back, I've been neglecting YouTube. I'm sorry. I got monetized last week on Facebook. I've been pushing a lot of footage that way. I got a lawsuit against the city of Hickman. So if y'all go back and look at my videos where they shut me down in a meeting and threatened to have me escorted out. And then we also had to go to court for that because somebody tried to put an EPO on me, and they said I pointed my finger at them like a gun. I went to the bank, tried to get the footage. Anyway, we go to court, they throw it out. I mean, it was blatant lies. They were just trying to use the color of the law to stop me. And their attorney even jumped in. It wasn't even connected to the case. She was a city attorney. She was there for another person. She jumped up and was like, I know him from the city. I'm not here to represent him, but he's a pastor and and I've seen him get irate. And, if I knew that, I didn't have nobody at law. I didn't need one. I said what I said was facts, truth. If I did that, I would have said, yeah, I pointed at him. Well, like that. Even they said, Judge, even if he did, wasn't nothing we could do that, it's not a threat. It's not, but I didn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I went like that. And the same thing I told Judge. Yeah, man, you got to do, they did some dirty things, but all that's coming out. Thank you. Like, share, man. We're trying to get the YouTube back popping. I go through a lot of my mental issues where I go sometimes days, sometimes a week where all I want to do is sleep and stuff. Mental health's an important thing. Y'all see I'm putting weight back on. I haven't been to the gym in a couple of months. And it's turned my mental health apart. I've got sidetracked on other shit. So hopefully, everything else going good. But anyway, let's get back on. Let's talk about, I'll get off topic. I got a lot of new things coming. We're going to drop this veteran podcast. I got several veteran people going to come on. We're going to share stories, tell about some of the good, bad things, funny, sad. Some might make you laugh, cry. But, it's a whole different life. So, anybody heard anything wild from work? Like supervisors or anything like that? If not, that's bomb. Somebody messaged me. Yeah. What's up, Todd? Yeah, man, I just got your message. Man, I hope you're doing all right out there. We're still growing. Facebook got monetized. Still making some connections, moving the right way. I think we're coming up on the day We're coming up on like 2,400 subs on here. Coming up on 3,000 on Facebook just within the last couple months. Like 1.3 million channel views total here. So we're doing, what is this? Try it. Satisfied. Start a question. I don't know what that is. I don't want to do that. What the fuck? Sorry. So what else is up? Anything? Mother. Okay, sorry. That's bomb. Yeah, well, it is bomb. Some people look at it as bomb. I'm gonna upload some footage of some of the one of the interviews me and my cousin Bubba T did. We've been working with him. He's doing an interview thing, and he's doing very well. So we're starting to try to pass a lot of knowledge out there. But this is kind of therapy too. You just get on here and talk about it, and just give a quick update. River Rat YouTube is where. 3 years ago, not even 3 years ago, December the 18th was 3 years without a drink for me. What's up, Matthew? So, December the 18th, 3 years without a drink. So, that was a big accomplishment. I'm like 2.5 years, I think, without cigarettes. Appreciate watching. You got any stories? You ever heard bosses say anything goofy? Where you from? Who you with? Where you from? Where you been? Where you going? As my buddy Melvin would say. Who you with? Oh, thank you, Matthew Sock. Yeah, I appreciate that. At one time, I would have said, but I've had a lot of life changes in the last 3 years. So appreciate watching, man, and subbing and sharing. We're gonna try to get back going this thing. So like I said, we got the podcast. I'm thinking about naming it True Vet Podcast. Down to the civvies, or down to the skivvies. If you know what down to the draws, that means unrated. Not X-rated, but like it go down to the rated R, skivvies. People got some funny ass stories to tell. I got some to tell, some I can't tell. Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. We do a lot of things to try to help. We just recently donated. I donated my daddy's car to the Vehicles for Veterans about a month and a half ago. They come picked it up. He got it when he died. My family bought it back from us because I couldn't drive a stick at the time, and my brother he didn't know how to drive a stick. So we just sold it back, and I was still in the military. So they actually blessed it back to me. And, okay, thank you, Matthew. Yes. If you knew my story, you know why I came through so much is because I didn't. I was a non-believer. And then some things that happened humbled me. Humbled me. I'm 39 years old. Pretty much all my family is dead. So parents, grandparents, brother, stepbrother, my mom's husband. They died 6 weeks apart. My dad was the youngest of 9. And I have one aunt left, and she's 90, if that says anything. So, my dad was born in 1946. Dude, that's what I'm sitting here saying, bro. Don't get on here. Look. I'm sitting here saying, but don't get on here preaching to me like that, because who are you to sit here and try to judge me? Like, really? Like, you probably one of them people that want to judge folks. Get on there and always tell somebody, do this, do that, do this, do that. If you knew my probably story, you'd probably say, wow, I should be listening to you. I appreciate it. I'm just saying, don't get on here and try to force feed me that stuff, because that's not going to work on here. I say facts. I appreciate saying sorry. I mean, if you get mad, not watch, not sub, I don't care. I mean, but I appreciate you telling me that, but I know what I got to do. I've had nothing and they're blessed with everything and still suffer with nothing but depression. So, you know what? Hold to telling me what I need to do. Anyway, sorry about that. I don't know. I guess he keep telling me to do something, like, you know, what he thinks I need. So anyway, what else is up? What'd he do? He just kept telling me, please believe in God, when I was sitting here saying God changed my life. And then I sat here and said I was, you know, blessed now beyond a, you know, I'm in a position where some people would love to be, you know, not mentally. If y'all jumped in my head, y'all probably wouldn't last too long. I've had preachers tell me that. So, but I went through my addiction and alcohol, you know, always will be, like I said, I'm 3 years without a drink. And when I took a drink, that's when you'd see a real demon. And it was getting worse, getting dark. But we try every day to get better, right? Thank you. I have my faults. And I try to work on them. I'm just like everybody else, you know. Everybody's got a story, you know. I just feel like I've been blessed enough to be able to get, you know, it out on YouTube and get out on Facebook and actually make money off of, you know, just kind of being myself on mine. But if you go back and look at my channel, you can tell how my mind is, because it's so random. You know, you never know what's going to be on it, because I don't know what my mind's going to be on day to day, hour to hour, second to second. Thank you. We're going to try to do this more. I appreciate it. We're going to try to do this more often. We're going to be trying to mix it up. I try to keep Facebook and YouTube pretty different. You know, so if you like me on here, go to my Facebook, follow me. It's different videos on there than what you're going to see on here. Some of them the same. But also, we're coming up on 2,400. So if you haven't subscribed on here, hit me up, like, subscribe. We'll come up on 2,400. I've kind of paused, but I haven't been pushing content like I should. So we're going to get back to doing that. And tell your friends, your buddies. We're going to get some merchandise and all that. And we're going to get it back rolling. And I think y'all really going to enjoy the podcast. So, the veteran podcast. Then we'll have podcasts just on here talking about. I don't look serious podcast. I mean, it could be somebody got on here and I guess talk back. Anybody want to come on live, watching? If not, y'all want to see something? I built this. I'm not a carpenter, but I got this green screen. Well, I want to appreciate everybody watching, hitting that likes button, that subscribe button. I got on here and And we'll come back with more. And if you got some funny stories, go ahead and, shout them out. I like to hear some fun. Laughter is the best medicine. If you can't laugh, then sometimes it's not worth somebody calling, sorry. As y'all see, I've upgraded from my last run. Progress. Start out with 1 sub. I thought I was going to, I tell you, when I first started getting subs, they say if you hit 500 on Facebook, be blessed. Then they have what they call a 200 to 300, like, pause, or where people can't get past it. So I was like, oh no, I'm going to hit the, what is it? And I literally flew through 100 to 500 subscribers in like a month. It was nuts. So I felt, and the next thing you know, I hit 1,000 subscribers. And I remember I was so proud of hitting 1,000, but it was such a sad day, because that's when that's the day of Paul's funeral. And I remember we hit 1,000 that day. And, that one hurt me, because even though we wasn't family, that was family to me. And when, we worked together and just was super close. And I wish we got him subscribed, though. I think we got him subscribed about 2 weeks before he had passed. He wasn't real phone savvy, and I'd stop by, and he was like, "Cuz, get me subscribed up." What's my best story? On which in which aspect? Like, I have several stories. My best story is probably going to military, going to boot camp. I was a lot younger back then. I didn't see things clearly, Then of course alcohol was a dark cloud, and I got so many stories that almost got kicked out due to alcohol. Not even 6 months in. It's been this dark cloud ever since I started drinking. So my daddy, he was drafted. He was an older man, so he used to tell me, he said, "Son, you better go to the military or something." He said, "The only place you're headed is jail or the cemetery." And that's where I was. I was wild, into anything. It didn't matter what it was, I was down. So, and that was due to alcohol. When I wasn't on alcohol, I regretted it. Regretted it. But then I would drink to try to, I guess, deal with the stress of it. That's a whole nother thing. We're gonna go into that. I've had so many people say you need to write a book about your life, because I don't think people really, like, if they really fathom some of the shit that's happened, that I went through, that's come back around, that, stuff you could only write. The United States. Now, I visited several countries when I was in the military. I got to visit Dubai twice. We went to Suda Bay, Greece. We went to France, Bahrain. Stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. I've worked in Montana. I probably had really in my life about 300 or 400 jobs. Most of them I'm banned from. Can't go back. Most of them I can't go back on probably property. Not for stealing. Nothing like that. Just back in, I would flip out. I'll tell you what I did. I tell y'all what I did, okay? Y'all want to hear a funny ass story? And me and the dude's cool now, and he'll back us up. Like, he's on my Facebook, and he's actually a supervisor over at, and I'm not going to put names out. And he's a cool-ass dude doing his thing. So when I worked at Tyson, y'all know I'm banned from there. I'm banned from Pilgrims. Well, me and another guy, he's still in the military. We both went to the military. And that's part of God's plan. They randomly, getting fired. We both in. He's still in. Last thing I know, he was, not too long ago, he was a drill instructor for the Army. So, me and this dude, we start cutting up on a lead. And at this time, the supervisor, he was the backup lead in case, the lead was absent or something like that. So, we would talk shit because they were like this. So we would cut up, carry on, and we would act like the phone was ringing, and be like, hey, so and so called, and said you're wearing his pants to work today. Act like they was in a. So we pissed him off so bad that he went and turned us in to HR. Right now we had the whole line on our side. Like none of us was gonna talk because we was like that back then. We just didn't talk. Like we were tight, like no snitching. Our work center was tight like that. So he went up to HR and told, and they started investigating, and we got suspended, right? So me being me, fuck it. I'm suspended. I'm going to the bar. So, that was on a Friday. We got suspended. On Saturday, we went to the bar. I went to the bar and got off fucked up. And I called this dude from the bar drunk. And probably I would guess probably now this is 20 years ago, So I called the dude. I was like, yeah. I said, you ain't snitch, you fucking pussy. On his voicemail, right? Yes, I do. It saved my life. I believe in it. I take edibles. I eat edibles. But you know what? Alcohol's legal, and I was a straight. You know what drug I didn't want to do when I was drunk? Smoke weed. You know why? Because I said, why? I would do any other drug because I wanted to be, I don't know, I guess. My brother smoked it up until he died. 4/20 was his birthday, and he died 6 days after his 32nd birthday. And I was always for it, even though I didn't smoke it. I was in college. I wrote a paper on marijuana against alcohol, opioids, and all that. Even though I knew all them. But I said I was still for marijuana at that time. And that was years ago. Because, there was no... Yes, there you go. And I turned down medication now because I know the government wants you to get on that. Look, you smoke marijuana, it treats 10 different things. If you take Lortab, that's for pain. And then they got to give you medication because the shit does this to you. It hurts your liver. It constipates people. They had to take fucking laxatives to shit. And then, they get the addicted. They start turning yellow and shit. I I said alcohol was my kryptonite because if I drank alcohol, that's when all other dope come in. Any drug, unless it was weed. I wasn't gonna smoke no marijuana. Now if it was meth, cocaine, fucking Molly, MDMA, it didn't matter. I was gonna put it up my nose or swallow it. You know what I'm saying? Like pills. We used to, all that. And I'm not condoning that. I'm glad that I don't touch nothing like that now. I don't even want a doctor to give it to me. Legally. Kentucky, you get your marijuana card here. Luckily we went legally, for medical. So we got to abide by the law. Of course, y'all know I'm suing the city, so I got to watch my P's and Q's, everything I do. Because they're trying to build a case against me. And, sorry, I appreciate it. You know what? When I went in the military, everybody would say, "Where are you from?" That's the first thing I hear. Where are you from? And I just had to say from Paducah because who knows this little ass town? 2,000 people. We was riding on the ship. Like 6,000 or something. I had company show up looking at me at the door. Hey, so listen, we've been on now for over 30 minutes. I appreciate. Hey, we'll get back on. We'll start doing this. Y'all jump on Tyler Dunn Facebook. We monetize over there too. So go back over and watch them videos. We're gonna start coming with more interviews and more podcasts and more jokes and more skits and more hidden prank jokes. And I'll be back. Y'all, as always, thanks for your support with Rats TV.